Good morning. It is Thursday. I got up about an hour late this morning because I ended up staying up until like 1:30 this morning. I was getting ready for bed and my cousin Vinny was on. I have not seen that in like 20 years. So I decided to watch the ending of my cousin Vinny. And so I kind of hit snooze one too many times this morning. But anyway, right now I'm checking my email. It looks like I have not put the packages out yet because it looks like I had 6 orders overnight. I get notifications on my phone, so when I woke up this morning, I saw that I had 6 payments. And excuse me, I'm reading my email as I am blabbing here, seeing just quick through, make sure there's nothing weird. I use Charter. And I have several email accounts, and I pool them all. Ooh, sorry about that. I have my volume up loud, and that's notifications that are going to be loud and annoying, and I apologize. Anyway, maybe I'll just close it on my email right now and do that later, because I didn't realize how loud that was going to be. Give me 1 second. Alright, I am going into eBay, and I do have 6 labels to print. I use a Dymo 400 Turbo. I have had this same Dymo label writer for over 10 years. Never had an issue with it. Printer wise, I have just a Canon, whatever Christmas special was, and it's like my 5th printer. I go through printers like crazy, but I still have the same Dymo, so I highly recommend Dymos. Oh, I have a Canadian one. So I cannot print a Dymo label for a Canada package because you have to fill out a customs form. So let me remove that shipment and I will do that separately. Anyway, on eBay I'm using multi-order shipping. If you saw on eBay, I'm sure you're very familiar with that. That's how I do it. And I do not use eBay's, what do you call it? I don't know what it's called. Their international package service. I don't know what it's called. I do it myself. I do international orders myself. So today is the 28th. Here we go. So when you do a multi-order, you have to enter all the weights and stuff, and I have that pre-filled. When you have your listing, make sure you know what your weight of your item is and you can print the labels before you even package them. I don't recommend that for everyone if you're not familiar with weights and stuff, but I've been doing this for a long time, so 99% of the time my weights are correct. Every once in a while I'll get a note from USPS that I overpaid, but I've never got a notice that I underpaid, so it works for me. Anyway, I want to print out these labels so I can show you. I'm clicking through. So anyway, yes, on eBay I use the multi-order shipping and I use my Dymo. So here at printing, so actually it's only 5 labels because I will have to go in and do the Canadian one separately. And then I also print out a package list. I do not print packing slips for each order. I do one huge packing list. This is personal preference. Some people swear by packing lists. Packing slips. I think it's a waste of paper. I do not include packing sheets. What is it called? Packing slips with my packages. I don't. Most buyers know what they're buying. So, and then every once in a while you get someone, please don't include a packing list because it's a gift. So, guys don't include it. So anyway, this is my strip of labels, and you can hear my printer going. Hopefully it works. This printer is acting wonky lately. I'm gonna have to buy a new one. It doesn't always recognize the paper. So annoying. And it's thinking, please let it grab the paper. I don't want to have to shut it off and start over again. No, it didn't grab the paper. God damn. Give me 1 second. Yeah, printing. It's printing. Yay. Thank goodness. I'm really getting frustrated with it lately. Alright, so this is what a packing list looks like. Just all the items, and it's the order of the list is the same order of the labels. Very, very easy. Let me go back in to the shipments, and I should still have one package waiting. This is my Canadian order, so let me see what they ordered, and let me write it down on the packing list, because she's no longer included on this packing list, because I pulled the order, or pulled, okay, so, okay, so now let me print her label. So anyway, when you print a foreign label, it is huge, and because it's a customs form, you have to fill out the customs form. I'm not going to get into that. If you ship to Canada, you're familiar with it. If you're interested in learning about customs forms, go to USPS. It's a pain in the butt, that's all I have to say. But actually, eBay makes it easy. The form's right here. You just click a few buttons, click the weights. You're not, let's see why I have to click the weight here. So we'll do 2 here and 2 here, and then I agree that there's nothing hazardous in this package, and then I pay for it. And anyway, it will print on an 8x10 sheet of paper, and so I have to tape. I'll just tape it later. It's no big deal. I like when the dinos, they're stickers. It makes it quicker, but yes, I still buy tape because occasionally I do have to tape a label. And please let my printer work. Alright, so I'm going to run down. All my stuff is stored in the basement. I have a nice huge basement. I have a little work area set up. I have all my eBay items in one section, and then I have all our household stuff in another section. So I love my basement. It works out great. And then I'm going to package these, drop them in put them on the porch for our mail lady, and then we are going to run some errands. There's a couple, I need some household stuff, and we're going to do it this afternoon. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll be back later telling you what else I did today. Oh, I'm back. In case you wanted to see, like, this is what the custom, you see, this is the customs. This is all the little stuff that it prints out. It shows what's in it. It shows the value. I have to sign right here. So you just have to do that for foreign orders if you're interested. Maybe you don't have to if you use eBay's global. It's called global shipping. That's what it is. If you use global shipping, maybe they do that for you. I don't know. I don't use global shipping. It's just as easy for me to do it myself. So, because PayPal, they make their labels easy. I know that, there's nothing wrong with global shipping. Use it. I just don't. I'm old-fashioned. This is how I started doing it 10 years ago, so I just don't use it. But there's nothing wrong with eBay's global shipping. I just like doing it myself. So I just finished packaging my eBay orders, all but one. As I was going through the packing slip, I noticed one of the items I did not have any left. On my new items, some of the products I do make myself, so I have all the supplies to make it. So I'm sitting on the couch making what I sold and making extras in case I sell any more this week. And this is the time that I actually watch TV. I mentioned it before, I don't really watch that much TV, but when I'm working on the crafty thing that I sell, I make it while watching TV, and there's not much on TV right now. I'm watching like the first 48 hours. I know it's kind of depressing, but I'm in the crime shows right now, so that's what I'm watching while I make happy crafty items. It's a strange mixture. Good morning, it's Friday. I've already been up for an hour working on stuff, looking through my emails, answering some questions, and then dealing with a seller issue. I bought some bubble envelopes on eBay. It's a new company that I don't normally use. I just wanted to try someone different. I ordered 500 envelopes, and I get a box that's marked 250, and it looks like there's 250 inside. So you email the seller and say, are you going to send me another box? That's the other 250. Do I have another box coming? And the customer service responds, no, they squished 500 envelopes into a box that says 250 to save on shipping. I'm like, really? You're going to tell your buyer that you're trying to save on shipping? So anyway, I open up the box, and it looks like 250, but I counted it, it's 250. So I email her back, and I'm like, okay, I cannot believe I had to count this, and guess what? It's still 250. And she's insistent that, they packed 500 into it, blah, blah, blah. So at this point, I'm going to have to do a dispute, because I only got $250, and she says they squished $500 into this box. So it's just frustrating that, you know, it happens. It's eBay life, but that's why eBay has a great dispute process. So what's going to happen is either she's going to have to give me a return label and she can have her $250 back, or she can give me a partial refund for the $250 that she's obviously not going to send me, or she can actually send me $250. But I've already got a couple emails, and I'm definitely getting the impression that she ain't gonna believe whatever I say. So anyway, I've already been rambling about this for over a minute. It's frustrating. So and it is Friday, so my normal Friday and Saturday mornings I go to estate sales. So if you're not familiar with estate sales are when companies come in and sell everything in a house. They don't put it out in the yard like a yard sale. The individuals go through this person's house, and you just look room by room and room, and sometimes they tag everything. And excuse me as my eyes go all over the place, I'm looking at email. And some people think estate sales are creepy because majority of the time it is when someone has passed away, and so you're going through a home of an individual that recently passed away. You know, and that could be creepy, but you know what? It's no different than them taking all these goods and donating it to Goodwill. So yes, most of the stuff at Goodwill was donated by people that passed away. I know, like, when my husband's first wife passed away, he took all her clothes and donated it to Goodwill. So there's really no difference than what you get at Goodwill. Anyway, but for St. Louis, the majority of our estate sales are not necessarily people who passed away. We have a lot of people who downsized and moved to Florida, so they don't want to take everything with them. And then, you know, the economy is not always good, so you have people who lose their house, and so they just sell everything quickly to get some money. Numerous reasons why there could be having an estate sale. So I'm fortunate in this area. We have a lot of estate sales, so the majority of product that I resell I get from estate sales. I'll go to a yard sale occasionally, and I do love Savers. We have several Savers in the area. We actually have a lot of Goodwills, but I don't go to the Goodwill. In my area, the Goodwills aren't very nice. I'm not saying it's like that. I've seen a lot of videos where people have awesome Goodwills, and that's great for you. I'm jealous. The couple Goodwills I went to, I wasn't impressed. I do a lot better at Savers. So every Wednesday night, excuse me, I look at the estate sales. You're not going to be able to see it because of the glare. So it's this estatesales.net app. It is free. Oh my god, I always get this wrong. I had to do this. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see it because it's a glare. So when it pops up, see, wait. There you go. See, it's a map. So when it pops up, there's all these little red icons, and those are estate sales. And then I do list view. So they pop up like a list like this. I don't even know what I'm trying. There we go. See how it pops up like a list like this? So that's each estate sale, and then it says how far it is away from me. It says the location. You can set up it's by your current location. I'm gonna have to drink. Oh yes, this morning is Mr. Pibb. I prefer Dr. Pepper, but if Mr. Pibb is cheaper at the grocery store, I'm picking up Mr. Pibb. I know, it's terrible for me. So anyway, last night I looked, and there wasn't any that I was really impressed with. So when you click on, here's one that's like 5.1 miles away. It started at 8 a.m. It's already 9, but like I said, there wasn't any I wanted to go to. Excuse me. So you click on the estate sale. Okay, let me remember what I did. Okay, so see, it has the address, the date, terms, and then it shows that it has 260 pictures. So what I go through is I scroll through all the pictures, and I see if there's something I'm interested in. And then you can save it to your favorites if it's one that you're interested in. And then you always want to look at the description and terms and directions. So the description is, it will actually give like a little more info. Like sometimes they'll say what they have, like this is a wonderful custom-made travel themed furniture, fun to see, a Tuscan themed wine cellar, blah blah blah. The owners were meticulous in the care of their home, blah, but must have now downsized. See, no one passed away. It's not creepy. Blah blah blah. And then you click on terms, checks, cash and checks accepted, credit cards accepted with a 3% convenience fee. We do not furnish any supplies for transport. So blah, blah, but it's just like normal stuff. It'll say whether you're allowed to bring your own bags or boxes. Some places won't let you bring bags because theft is an issue at estate sales. I know, it's crazy, but people still crap everywhere, and they still at estate sales, so some management companies won't let you bring big bags. So I always double check because I have a nice backpack that I like to carry around. So I also have a smaller purse that if they say no bags, I will carry that around. And then I have in my purse, I have fold-up bags, so that way if I see a bunch of stuff, I can whip out my own bag. Because most of the time they don't have bags, and it's like, I buy a lot of stuff. I can't carry it around without a bag. So it's just talking about everything that there is, and just nothing that I was really interested in today. And then tonight I will look for tomorrow's. So, and it will talk about line numbers sometimes. So what line numbers is if it is a really popular seller, depending on the management company, say it opens at 8 a.m. They will say they're giving out line numbers like at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And so that just means you line up numerically with your number, and if you're lucky enough to get there early, you'll be number 1. You know, they give out like 50 line numbers, and so if it's a small house, they only let like 20 people in at a time. And so I am not into the line numbers. I have done it before. You have to get there early. Sometimes they give out the line numbers the day before, and just because you have a line number doesn't mean you're going to be the first to get anything, because what happens is, you know, you have all these people going and you don't know where anything is in the house. So you got your first 20, everyone goes everywhere. So you need to look at the pictures, and if there's I love ET, so there's an ET plush. I got to look at the picture and say, does that look like that's the bedroom? Does that look like that's the garage? Does that look like downstairs? So I have to hope that I pick the right room and go straight to that. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. And it's stressful. It gives me anxiety, and I don't even have anxiety. So I just don't worry about being first anymore. If it opens at 8, I ain't going to be there till 9. I want to be after all the crazies. And I don't mean to call these people crazy, just the crazy atmosphere. Everyone is super nice. Everyone is friendly, but they all want their stuff. So they're there to get their stuff, and it can be very crazy. So the early birds are usually the antique dealers, and maybe there's a couple eBayers like me, or I'm mostly collectors. I mainly do this for collecting, and that's why I don't have to be there exactly when it opens, because I collect 80s toys. And I've noticed that not that many people collect 80s toys. So I've been very fortunate that I usually find what is in the picture. Sometimes I don't, but can you see above my head? You see that on that shelf back there? That is all Rainbow Bright stuff that I got at an estate sale that last year, that I went an hour early just for that. I was lucky. I got there early, and the lady's like, what are you here for? What are you interested in? I said, the Rainbow Bright stuff, and I think she was like, are you serious? I think she thought she was going to have to donate them. So she let me in early just to get all the Rainbow Bright stuff, because she didn't think anybody else would want it. I'm like, okay, thanks. So I got my Rainbow Bright stuff, and I left before the estate sale even opened. But that was a special circumstance. They usually don't do that. But I see that I'm rambling. I'm just trying to explain how estate sales work. So if you have estate sales in the area, you need to check them out. I always bring cash. I know that they say like a lot of people accept checks or credit cards. I don't want to mess with that. I always bring cash, and then because this is a business and I am buying stuff to resell, I have a receipt book. I take a screenshot of all the info on here for tax purposes, and I fill out my receipt book with what I bought and how much I spent. So when it comes tax time, I have backup for my cost of goods. So anyway, I've been rambling too long now. I got a couple more things to package, and then I am going to go to St. Charles to do some errands, and there's a Savers there in St. Charles. I haven't been there forever, so I'm going to go in there and hopefully have a thrift haul from Savers to post later. So anyway, see you later. So as I've mentioned before, I take the afternoon off and go to parks and walk around. And this is one of my favorite parks, and look at these blackberry bushes. They're not ripe yet, but aren't they so pretty? I wish they were ripe. I love blackberries. So in the state of Missouri, you are allowed to forage, so yes, I would eat some blackberries if they were ripe. Did you see a ripe one?
Yep.
I don't know, that one's questionable. I want to eat the questionable one. grab that for me. No.
It's got red on it. Don't you see that?
Okay, Robert said no. I have to wait. Fine.
Here,
I just want
you
to
can regret this decision.
I will regret this decision. Let me taste it. It's just a little unripe. Oh my god. That is so good. It could be because I'm just sweating like ridiculous and everything tastes good, but yeah. That was really good. So we will have to come back in a couple days and see if any of these blackberries have ripened. Hello, it's Saturday afternoon and I did not go to any estate sales this morning. I worked a couple hours on the computer and worked on my website, packaged a couple items, and we just got back from lunch. So it's pretty much just going to be a lazy day for the rest of the afternoon. The reason I didn't go to any estate sales was because I looked at the app and there's about 10 estate sales in the area. They were all furniture and glassware, and I don't mind selling glassware, but I just didn't feel like looking at that today. It's not my specialty. I know a lot of sellers do pretty good on glassware, and I know there's like vintage Pyrex does really well, but there's some Pyrex pieces that are more popular than others, so you really have to know a lot about Pyrex so you buy the correct pieces. So yeah, if you like dishware, that might be something you should research and look into selling, but it's just not something I want to get into. Then I know a lot of people don't like to sell glassware because they worry about damage during shipping, and sure, absolutely that can happen, but I don't think it's as big a problem as a lot of people think. Just for an example, I've been doing this for like 10 years and I've only had 5 damaged packages through the USPS, and out of those 5 packages only 1 was glass, and I filed an insurance claim and I got a refund check within a week. The other 4 packages were stuff that doesn't normally break. I don't even remember what the items were, but the envelopes got damaged, the item inside got damaged enough that the buyer complained, so of course, you know, I gave a refund to the buyer and apologized. And if the order is over $50, I have an insurance on it, and I would have got a refund from the post office. So the reason I say I don't feel like it's that big of an issue is just through my experience. I'm sure I've heard lots of horror stories. I know a lot of people believe the post office, like if you write fragile, like they purposely like try to break it. You know, there's jerks everywhere. I'm sure there's a crabby postman that might have done that once or twice, but I don't think it's that big of an issue, at least not for me. So for example, my main seller, or not my main, but one of my most popular items on my private label business is a glass figurine. I have sold over 1,500 of these glass figurines over the last 5 years. Not 5 years, 3. How long have I been selling that item? 3. The last 3 years, and only 1 is broke. 1. That's really good odds. And I'm trying to think, I might actually be over 2,000 items I've sold of that one particular item. Gotta remember how many times I've made it. Well, anyway, we'll just say 1,500. Out of 1,500 items, only 1 has been damaged during shipment, and I got a refund. So I get insurance on any order over $50. Now, it used to be where you could only get insurance through priority packages, and then if you ship a priority, you automatically get insurance free up to $50. If you're like a top rated seller, you get like $100 free. I get $100 free, but that's for priority. If you have a first class package, you now can get insurance. You buy it through a separate provider through eBay. On that click down box when you check insurance, it's called like ShipSure, I think, and it's a little cheaper than the regular post office. I get that for if I'm shipping a $50 order that's not priority. It doesn't happen that much because if it's a $50 order, it's usually being shipped priority anyway. I've never had to file a claim, so I don't know how good they are. I know USPS claims are easy. I don't know how ShipSure, how that claim would work, but I've never had to use it, so I'll still buy it just in case that one time if I ever have to use it, but it's never happened so far. So anyway, I'm rambling. I think the point was that nothing wrong with glassware. Don't be afraid to ship breakables. I've had, out of those 5 packages that were damaged, only 1 was breakable. So the point is the post office can ruin any package, whether it's breakable or not. So it just doesn't happen that much, because if I've only had 5 packages damaged, and I count how many I ship a lot of items, I would say, don't quote me on this, don't be like, run my numbers later and say you're wrong. I could be wrong. I am just estimating. But for me personally, over the last 3 years, I have probably shipped over 50,000 packages. This is not just 1 year. Don't be that impressed. This is like 3 years. And only 5 have been damaged. That's a really good odds. So don't let possibility of breakage scare you from selling something. That's all I'm trying to say. So I ship a lot of items. The reason I have so many packages is I ship a lot of small items. Sometimes it's quantity over quality, and I still make really good money. So anyway, that's a tangent. That's another video I can do another day if you're interested. But it's a beautiful day. I'm gonna go now and have a lazy Saturday. Good morning, it's Sunday. We're heading to Dave & Buster's because I need a stress reliever. I got up this morning, did my normal thing, checked my email, worked on the accounts for a little bit, and I have another problem buyer. And that's the second one this week. So I have a repeat buyer who buys a lot from me, and so I give him 14 days to pay. I have automatic notifications set up, so 3 days before he needs to pay, he gets a warning that tells him pay by this date or you're gonna get a final value, or not, how do you word it? He gets an unpaid strike, and then I get an email saying your final value has been reversed and rewarded back to you or whatever. So anyway, it warns him. It tells him exactly when he needs to pay. And normally if people don't pay on time and they get that unpaid strike, I block them. I just don't want to deal with people who don't pay. But he's such a great repeat buyer that the first time he did this a couple months ago, he went past the deadline, didn't pay, and wanted to pay after the fact, and I'm like, no, I already had the unpaid strike, or I'm sorry, the fee was reversed. eBay already gave me my money back, and I didn't think it was fair to, he wanted me to send him an invoice outside of eBay. I do not go outside of eBay. Sorry, I'm sticking with eBay's rules. You could get in trouble if eBay finds out you're going outside of eBay. So I'm like, no. I said, but I'll relist the stuff. You can buy it again. Just don't do it. Just, pay attention to your emails. Don't do this again. So guess what happened? Yesterday he got at midnight, he got the unpaid strike, and 2 hours later he emails me and he's like, I just logged on. I can't pay. I just got the unpaid strike. Please, I really need these, blah, 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 blah. And, everyone else works smoothly. And I'm like, seriously? I already gave you 2 weeks. I gave you 2 weeks to pay, and that's still not good enough. I'm just tired of dealing with it. I'm just really tired of dealing with it, and he's like trying to guilt trip me into going outside the rules, and it's not something I wanted to deal with this morning. So anyway, I'm sticking firm to it. I'm not selling it to him. He should have paid within the 14 days, and at this point now I'm debating, do I block him or do I let him keep doing this to me every month? I don't know what to do. I'm done worrying about it for now. I'm going to Dave & Buster's and spend tons of money on a coin pusher, and next summer I'm taking the summer off and I'm moving to Oregon, and I am going to move to Cannon Beach and reenact the Goonies movie. Doesn't that sound good? Isn't that Cannon Beach where they filmed Goonies?
It was.
That's my next summer project. So anyway, if anyone wants to star in my remake of a Goonies movie, that's next summer.